Hey guys, all right. So I've taken a couple of weeks to kind of take a step back. I did do a video before, but I actually deleted it because I was just like, I don't feel like this is it yet. I don't feel like I have a clear enough picture just yet of what I need to do about my parents and their whole thing about going to therapy and what I really need to think about it. But um, but yeah, if you caught, I just recently did a video because I finally recognized that my mom is not just a borderline, but also is a covert narcissist. And oh my gosh, that just gives a lot more clarity for me about me and what to do to take care of me in this situation. And also what I can basically guarantee is the problem with my mom. So, yeah, um, I don't think, well, it doesn't even matter. I mean, on some level, okay, so on some level, it doesn't even matter what my parents choose to do when it comes to their own recovery, and their own working through their own stuff. And the reason why is because this is something I think adult children have just such a struggle with, is that we have to separate ourselves from our parents. Like we have to see ourselves as a separate entity, because the only people that we can control are ourselves. The only people then therefore that we can actually help is ourselves, and it's to recover ourselves and recover our own lives and move our lives forward. Now, we can support other people's recovery. So if my mom and dad were actually going to therapy because they recognized their own issues that they need to work through, and they said, we'd like to talk to you, so that you can help us identify our shortcomings, or because we're trying to work through how to work through our own stuff, I would absolutely help and be involved in that. But as you guys picked up from the text messaging that my parents had written, that is not how they're approaching therapy. They are approaching therapy to validate my mom being a victim of me, and that as being a victim, what they're trying to do is pull me into their lives by once again emotionally abusing me, and by once again mentally fucking with my mind. Excuse me for dropping that bomb, but you guys all know how you guys all feel my anger. But just dropping by fucking with my mind, but just doing it. But this time I've said, well, you need to do this in front of a therapist. If you're going to do that. No, no, of course not. No, no, like yeah, no, I'm sorry, just teasing, but I think it's that whole, like, they want to pull me back in, and they want to fuck with me in front of a professional. Like, I think that they're trying to, probably, what I would suspect is they're going to spend the next few sessions trying to convince their therapist about what an awful child I am, what a terrible child I am, how I'm so lost, and all that stuff. And then depending on who that therapist is and if they believe it or not, or how trained they are in cluster B personality disorders, um, they will probably try to, if I was to talk to them with the therapist, yeah, it would just be geared towards, let's throw April under the bus, deny everything April says, and things like that. So ultimately, what do I think? I just think that this is just typical. I just think this is typical borderline narcissistic behavior acting itself out. I realize now, like, it's just all the more affirms how, like, just really, really, just really, just unfortunately damaged my mom and dad are, like, in this, and how just really far gone they are. And, um, and that just that there that really I need to move my life forward and just continue to just not have hope that it's going to get better unless they actually were to realize, recognize, own the fact that they are, borderline narcissistic, or at least my mom is. I don't know what my dad is. I'm still confused about my dad, which is interesting, but as AJ Mahari says, I love her. She's fabulous. So if you guys want to check out her videos, I highly recommend them. As AJ Mahari says, she's like, you have to trust your confusion. And so anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trust that I'm confused, and that's just simply a tactic that my mom and dad are going to use because that's how they operate, because they're unhealthy, untreated, and I need to trust that. I'm going to assume it's not going to get better and just keep moving my life forward, you know, um, and just kind of all the more accept that, like, this is just, I mean, this is just how it is, um, and like what my therapist talked about, like, April, you kind of got to have like a 15-year plan. Like maybe in 15 years from now, you'll have your siblings in your life, but until then, and maybe even my family members, my extended family. I mean, my extended family doesn't, you know I mean, because everyone's been duped. How is it possible that everyone's been duped except for me? I don't think that's true. I think that there are some people who are aware, but they're just not acknowledging it, and they just don't want to get involved, and they're like, yeah, something's up with her, but whatever, I'm not going to get involved, because they understand, just like me, the power of the untreated borderline covert narcissist and stuff like that, and that really all you can do is run, and you can run quietly, and deal with your own stuff, and just take care of yourself and get away from them, because any attempts at all of trying to solve things will only blow up in my face, and just and it would be me just allowing the abusive cycle to continue, and I'm not going to do that ever again. I am so excited to be working on in the season of my life where I am just loving on and acting out the value of me that's inside of me, that I finally start am really feeling and owning, you know cutting the people out of my life who have deemed me not good enough, or not, at their level or whatever. Cutting out of my life the negative thoughts, like, I still get them. I still will self abuse myself emotionally and mentally and stuff like that at times. And I'm learning to just try to be patient with myself and love myself in those moments, and be like, honey, you just need like time out, and you just need to quiet down, and like, what can we do to love on yourself right now, and things like that. And I feel like, to me, one of those things is to just me go, like, I want to be the badass that I am. I want to take my business to the next level, and I want to pursue the big money accounts that I totally could help out. I want to be the rock star that I am inside, that I finally believe in, and stuff. And that's what I want. And I want to, be at that level where I am, attracting, or am attractive to, just high valued men, who value themselves and have that confidence and self esteem, and know a great catch when they see one, and goes, heck yeah, I want to date her. I want my friends and my chosen family to be made up of those kinds of people too in my life. And I just want to take care of me the way that I was always meant to be taken care of. And who cares if my parents are involved or not? And at this point, I have to let go of my extended family and I have to let go of my siblings and just love and take care of me and just trust that God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, has got my back and loves me so much and will help me move my life forward, in the way that I'm meant to. I have goosebumps right now. I'm so, like it just feels so good. And so, yeah. So, and honestly, I'm grateful. I know this sounds weird, but I'm grateful in some ways to be in a situation with my parents, because if it wasn't for for facing this kind of crap, I wouldn't be able I wouldn't be tapping into the stuff. I wouldn't be moving through my stuff like this. How many people do we know, like, come from great families, are super supportive and stuff like that, who, like, they don't really do much inner work in their lives because they don't really need to, because they're just so, because their life is so safe. I don't want that. So I'm grateful for all of this right now. Anyway, yeah, so there's my story. So that's what's going on. So my decision is definitely to do nothing, continue my life, to assume that they're not going to get any better. And that this is just another one of those old cluster B tactics that them cluster B people who don't want to get treatment do. So, anyway, yeah. So, I hope you guys have a great day. Feel free to share your own stories, your thoughts, and your comments, and stuff like that. And just know that I definitely appreciate and value all of them. So, have a great day.